Let us now begin our heart-focused breathing technique. So place your awareness in the area of your heart and take slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. And take these breaths slow and deeper than normal. And you will breathe through your nose or your mouth, but you will visualize these flowing into your heart, the biggest magnetic field engine in your body. And when the heart creates this amazing magnetic field, your emotions are actually modulated in this magnetic field, so people can actually sense you before you even speak. And so let us clean our environment with this wonderful breath. Let us clean our magnetic field so that people who are around us can feel at ease just by our presence. Slow, deep breaths. And visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. This is the very basic heart-focused breathing technique that is actually just the foundation of all other techniques. This is my go-to technique when I wake up in the morning, or if I'm having trouble falling asleep. This is my go-to technique. Slow, deep breaths, and visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. And have these breaths be symmetrical. If you're counting to 5 as you breathe in, count to 5 as you breathe out. And make this a symmetrical cycle in your body. Beautiful. Notice if your shoulders are moving up and down. If they are, you need to make your breaths more gentle. This is meant to be a free-flowing, gentle, rhythmic movements where you experience waves of energy as you take these breaths. Beautiful. Excellent. And now let's talk about the I didn't know that moment. And today's topic is about psychics. So I'm going to open up a poll. You should see this if you're able to see this poll. which asks, have you received a reading from a psychic intuitive in the last year or not? And it's interesting how many people rely on psychic predictions or go see an intuitive or a clairvoyant to find out a bit more about their future and why things are going the way they are. I have actually seen a psychic before, although not in the last year, but I have a lot of friends who are psychic. I guess I receive a bit of information from them unsolicited, but they're all good. So I see that 40% of you have not seen or not received a reading from the psychic in the past year, whereas 26% of you have. And I'll tell you this, I'm surprised at this particular poll, because normally I've come across people who have seen, I don't think I've come across anybody who hasn't seen a psychic. So wonderful. Natalie, yes, I see you read yourself. Yes, but sometimes we need to have somebody else's perspective. But interesting, Natalie. Margaret, Amelia, no. Lisa, hello from Toronto. Lisa, you have not seen psychics before. Zoya, yes, you have. Wonderful. And I have nothing against psychics at all. I love them. They're my friends. You see Natalie on the call here. She's a wonderful psychic, intuitive. We all are, in essence, connected. And this is what I teach, essentially. And this is the HeartMath's research has shown that we are all intuitively connected. We can all sense something that's going to happen. And I can show you charts of magnetic fields that have changed because of mass human events. So there is something that we're connected to, and that we have a psychic ability, every one of us. And so, but here's the important part about a psychic. Let me give you an example here, okay? So, sorry, I picked on a goat today. I thought so you see a boulder on a mountain coming down, barreling down, and there's a goat somewhere on that mountain, a mountain goat. So if you were to look at this rock and you see that it's far enough away that one of two things could happen. The rock could crush the goat as it comes barreling down, or the goat could move out of the way, and the rock would miss the goat entirely. If you were to predict what would happen to the goat at this time, what would you say would happen to the goat? Would you think the goat would get out of the way in time, or do you think it would get crushed? And the simple answer is that you don't know at this point, because the goat has free will to jump out of the way, has natural instincts to jump out of the way. So let's say that the goat does jump out of the way. Would the rock miss the goat entirely? Well, conventional wisdom says that yes, of course, the rock would miss the goat entirely because the goat moved out of the way. But what happens if there's a certain bounce that the rock takes? That's an odd bounce, like the hockey puck does in an arena once in a while. And the rock crushes the goat anyways. And the goat would have been better staying where it is, because that funny bounce would have taken the rock, moved the rock out of the goat's path. Now, the next question is, what if the rock was 2 inches or 3 inches away from the goat and the goat had no time to dash away from it? Well, the answer then becomes the rock is going to crush the goat. So you see, we went from a situation where there are numerous probabilities when the rock is far enough away, but those probabilities basically turn into one possibility only when the rock is too close to the goat and the goat has no time to get away. And that is how psychics see things. Psychics are able, the good ones, are able to actually see potentials. And we talk about potentials. So in this instance, when the rock is at the top, the psychic sees a potential and says, well, there's a chance that the rock may crush the goat. There's a chance it may not. The decision is the goat's to change the future. And that's exactly what when you go for a psychic reading, when they say something's going to happen in a year from now, things could shift between now and a year from now for you, because you have your own free will. You could tomorrow change something and alter the future for yourself. And so when you go see a psychic, and when they predict certain things for you, when they say that something's going to happen in a year or next month or tomorrow, those things are based on potentials, depending on the time constant of the things that are moving. For example, if a psychic says you're going to get run over by a car as you leave this home, they wouldn't say that, and no good psychic will actually be able to predict that. But if they say that you're going to walk out of this house and get run over by a car, many things could happen between you standing up and walking out. One of the things that could happen is the car that's supposed to run you over gets into an accident just before it gets to you. Or the driver decides to take a detour. Or you decide to take a different road. So there are many things a psychic can say. It doesn't mean they're right or wrong. It's just that you have your free will. But when we get to a point where this rock is coming barreling down, and the goat is from physics perspective anyways, the goat cannot get away, that's when the psychic can accurately predict your fate. All right? So that is really my little wisdom for you, and in terms of when you go see a psychic, just consider the fact that whatever they're telling you, it is actually just potentials, and those potentials can change at any time. All right? And then we can, if you have any questions, you can certainly ask that at the quick Q&A session right after we do the quick coherence technique. So now let us begin to place our awareness in the area of our heart. And take slow, deep breaths. And visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. This is that heart-focused breathing you did just earlier. And now begin to experience a regenerative feeling, such as love, appreciation, peace, compassion, and just draw this into your heart. When you're creating this field of love, appreciation, and compassion, the frequencies of these register on the magnetic field bubble that you're sitting on. And you are actually affecting those around you without speaking. You are just being. So continue to experience this positive feeling of love, appreciation, peace, and draw that into your heart. Breathing gently and slowly, and more deeply than you normally would. Deep breaths. Put a gentle smile on your face. Excellent. Wonderful. That's 15 minutes of heart focused breathing, quick coherence technique, and a little bit of a wisdom that comes to me once in a while that I share with you. So thank you for joining me, and we are going to begin the optional Q&A session next. I see Lou and Will, you joined us. You were lost in the garden. It's a good place to be lost in. So thank you for joining us this late. I now open the floor for any questions. Please do type those in. I'm happy to respond. So if there's no questions, then we can end this early. Otherwise, I'm happy to answer any questions. So while people are typing in, wanted to share with you that we're almost full at this Kananaskis event that's happening with Lee Carroll, Amber Wolf, and myself, August 24th to 27th. That's coming up very quickly, and I'm looking forward to that. That's next weekend, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after that. So we're busy preparing for that, and if you do have some time in your schedule and you want to check it out, by all means. We have, I think last I checked, we have only 7 spots left. We could open it up to more, but we want to keep it as an intimate gathering. More importantly, we're getting supplies and little trinkets, so we want to make sure we've got enough for everyone. You're welcome, Wendy. Thank you, Lou and Will. If there are no comments, I don't see any, I see Natalie typing something in, but I don't see any questions coming in, so maybe we'll just exit early today. And if you have questions, by all means, send me an email and we can connect with you that way. So next Monday, which is the 21st, we will have the Monday morning espresso shot, of course. But the following Monday, I will be in the Kananaskis, and I'll be driving back on that Monday. So on that 2 weeks Monday from now, we will not be having an espresso shot, but we'll catch up the one after that. All right. Lisa, you have a question about direct knowing. Can you explain a little bit more what you mean by direct knowing? My pleasure, Sandy. Thank you so much, Walter, for your comments. I'm just waiting for Lisa to type in what she means by direct knowing. I hope everyone's having a drink of water once in a while. It's very important. So let me try and oh, Natalie, that is what I meant by I'm reading myself. Yes, just know sometimes what to do. Yes. Precognitive. Lisa says I can wake up in the morning and know that I should not take a certain route. Interesting. Okay. Now that is can be explained, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Is the psychic. The difference between us looking for answers to a psychic and us finding that answer to ourselves is that we are very in tune with certain things in our lives. Heart math studies have shown, and these are laboratory scientific studies, that when you're emotionally connected to the outcome, your heart will receive the information ahead of when the information unfolds, when the actual event unfolds. So you're absolutely correct that if you have a knowing, and that's exactly what psychics do, is that the good ones will know to say something to you, will know that there are certain things you need to know, and they will be revealed to that psychic so that you can be aware of that. So for you, you have an intuitive sense. Everybody does, as I mentioned earlier, that we all need to just tune in to our hearts. And the reason I bring this up is because we can become better intuitive people so that we can guide ourselves to our path and not have to trust somebody else's filters to guide us. And that is doing the heart focused breathing technique, the quick coherence technique, and the advanced techniques. When you do that, you become more intuitive. We've seen that in results and studies. So Lisa, if you can wake up in the morning and know that you should not take a certain route, The unfortunate part is you don't know what would have happened if you did take that route, because you can't prove a negative. But the fact that you're kind of flowing through life, and things are not challenging for you, was wonderful. Now you may get a hit saying, I must take that route, or I must not take that route, but I must take this route, and you find a lot of challenges along that route. That could also mean that your innate is saying, we need to learn this, we need to manage this, because there's some bigger things happening in the future that we need to deal with. So it's important for you to honor whatever happens in your life, honor and trust your instincts, but at the same time, know that if something negative or unwanted experience happens, it is only for the best. All right? Most of the time. Yes, heart tune in, Sandy. It's exactly right. It's exactly right. It's a very inspirational thing to do. Walter, for me, Stargate meet heart coherence. Absolutely. We discovered that only a few weeks ago, how powerful connecting the two. Prageet Harris, if anybody knows the work that Prageet and Julianne do for the Stargate Experience folks, if you haven't experienced them, you might want to try them out. It's too far out for a few people. I just love it. I get connected every time when I do the meditation. And we did a webinar not too far ago, a few weeks ago, actually in July, where we combined heart math techniques and the Stargate Experience, and a whole bunch of people, I think Walter was one of them, experienced tremendous openings, because it was heart math is not meant to be a substitute for anything. It's meant to be something that kind of layers on, or actually builds a foundation for all your other practices. So wonderful, Walter. Thank you for that. Yes, knowing from a state of coherence is best. As a matter of fact, there are two states that you will get a hit from. The first state is from a place of fear. And when you get a hit from a place of fear, you're afraid. That basically could be one of two things: that your heart is saying, this is not the right direction to go. And there's an easy way to find that out, as you feel the stress and fear, is to go into your heart coherence and then ask your heart, is this the right decision that I need to make? When you do that, you'll get a clear answer, or at least you have to get used to sensing what the clear answer is. The second thing is from a perspective of inspiration. When you are inspired to do something, like I was inspired to hold the Monday morning espresso shot. I was inspired to send an email out to the Cryon team and saying, can I do heart math workshops? It was an inspiration for me to do that. And then same with the Stargate people. It was inspirational for me to say, Prageet, can we do a heart math and a Stargate together? All those things have propelled me forward in terms of my own growth, and I have connected with people that I normally would not have connected with. And so that's an inspirational based leading. So when you're always in your heart coherent space, you will find that guidance for you. And when I have friends who are psychics, what they do is they tell me things that I already know, and it's a confirmation. And you will see that in today's theme. When you talk to a psychic, if you ever get a psychic reading, they'll say something to you. If in your mind you're saying, I knew that, I just needed a confirmation, that means you need to trust your instinct, your guts, your psychic abilities more and more. Okay, so thank you for the comments. Thank you for the engagement. Those are very good questions. So yes, if you have an inner knowing, you are actually connected with Source. You are doing something that is resonating. Doing more heart-focused breathing or quick coherence technique will only amplify your abilities and connect you more in this realm. All right? Wonderful. This has been a wonderful discussion. Thank you so much for joining me. If there are no more questions, we can end right here, and a replay will be out hopefully by tomorrow. All right? Oh, you're welcome, all of you. Love you all. Thank you for joining me today. Look forward to seeing you guys next Monday. All right. Take care.